I want to talk to y'all about the different Nazi groups. Y'all probably don't know. Y'all probably just hear the word Nazi. Y'all probably heard of the Thule Society, and then that was probably it. But there's more societies when it comes to the Nazis and shit. You know, yes, I'm saying the word Nazi. So let's get it on out the way. Shouts out to everybody in the chat, and everybody's gonna watch on the playback. I know it's early in the morning, late, probably late for some people, early for some people. It's 5:07 in Detroit. Can't sleep, so I decided to do this. I have another video that I'm gonna do after this, but I had to go to my other phone, and then later on, I'm gonna do another video, 44 minutes, get it on out the way, and then just focus on the rest of the day on, you know, just music and chilling. So shouts out to everybody. Hope everybody cool. This is HHN Special Stories, the different Nazi groups.
Thule Society. The Thule Society was more than just a club for mystics. It was the beating occult heart beneath the rise of Nazism. Founded in 1918 in post-World War I Germany, this secretive organization blended extreme nationalism with esoteric beliefs. They were obsessed with the idea of a lost Aryan civilization, one they believed originated from the mythical land of Thule, a supposed northern paradise like Atlantis. The society attracted an elite circle of intellectuals, aristocrats, and occultists. Their symbol was a swastika surrounded by a dagger and oak leaves. Long before Hitler made it infamous, they studied rune magic, racial mysticism, and Germanic paganism, believing the Aryan race had divine origins and a spiritual destiny to rule. But this wasn't just fringe fantasy. The Thule Society was deeply involved in politics. It financed and supported the German Workers' Party, which eventually transformed into the Nazi Party. Several early Nazi leaders, including Rudolf Hess and possibly even Hitler himself, had ties to Thule meetings. Their ultimate goal, to awaken a spiritual revolution through racial purity and occult knowledge. And while the society was officially disbanded as the Nazis rose to power,
those bastards are not disbanded. They got taken in Project Paperclip and brought to the United States, and they created NASA. Yep. But that's the Thule Society. Y'all probably already heard of the Thule Society or the Thule Society, but look them up. This is the HHN Special Stories. Can't sleep. And we're just going to get off of all these groups real quick, and then we're going to get up out of here. I got a track uploading. Hopefully by the time I'm done with this pre-recording and I get ready to go live, it should already be done, hopefully. And it is. I just dropped a new track. Make sure y'all check it out. Shouts out to TMB Monkey Man for the beat. That's the second song done. He do some two beats. I did 2 tracks. You already know. Shouts out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that I do features with, that I do collaborations with. Shouts out to Monkey Man for the beat. Shouts out to Texas. You already know what it is. Shout out to everybody I know from Texas. You know what I'm saying, on the platform. TNB with Monkey Man and Relentless. And shout out to my homeboys over here in Detroit from Texas. And everybody that folks with my music that's from Texas. Shouts out to y'all. And shout out to everybody in y'all respective time zones. This was the Thule Society. They say Hitler was part of it and some other guy, but they try to say alleged possible members. But like, we already know what's going on. We already know who's who and what's what. That's if you study the Thule Society. But if you haven't, look up the Thule Society. THULE. On to the next one.
its dark legacy lived on. The Ancestral Heritage Research and Teaching Society wasn't just a think tank, it was the Nazi regime's official expedition into the world of mysticism, pseudoscience, and lost history. Founded in 1935 by Heinrich Himmler and other high-ranking Nazis, their mission was to prove the racial superiority of the Aryan people by uncovering their ancient origins. But this wasn't just academic curiosity. They sent teams across the globe from Tibet to the Arctic to search for remnants of a forgotten Aryan civilization. They looked for everything from the Holy Grail to runic relics and ancient Nordic texts. Some believed these objects held spiritual power or even technological secrets from an advanced prehistoric race. The organization dabbled in archaeology, anthropology, linguistics, and even the occult. They twisted facts, staged findings, and built myths to support Nazi ideology. Their research aimed to justify conquest and genocide by fabricating a mystical history of Aryan supremacy. Under Himmler's direction, they also performed horrific human experiments in concentration camps, all in the name of racial science. By the end of the war, their name became synonymous with the darkest intersections of mysticism and cruelty. Vril Society. The Vril Society is an alleged secretive group obsessed with harnessing a mysterious life force known as Vril. Rooted in the 1871 novel The Coming Race by Edward Bulwer Lytton, Vril was described as a powerful, all-pervading energy wielded by a subterranean super race. But in the early 20th century, certain esoteric circles in Germany began to treat it not as fiction but as prophecy. The Vril Society supposedly emerged in the 1920s, blending theosophy, occult science, and Aryan mysticism. They believed that Vril energy could awaken hidden powers within the human body, telepathy, levitation, even immortality. Some accounts claim they sought contact with beings from the inner earth or even from other worlds. According to rumors, their female members, called Vril maidens, grew their hair long to act as antenna for cosmic energy. They worked on anti-gravity flying discs, that they tried to contact alien intelligences using meditation and ancient symbols. While there's little concrete evidence of the Vril Society as an organized group, their ideas were allegedly absorbed into Nazi ideology, especially through figures like Himmler, who was fascinated with esoteric knowledge. Black Sun Order. The Black Sun Order wasn't an official organization, but rather a mythic inner circle believed to exist within the upper ranks of the Nazi SS. Its symbol, the Black Sun, is a 12-spoke sun wheel, etched into the floor of Wilsberg Castle, Heinrich Himmler's personal SS sanctuary. To some, it was just a decorative rune, but to others it was a sigil of immense occult power. This so-called Black Sun Order was tied to Himmler's vision of the SS as more than just a military elite. He saw them as a knightly brotherhood, guardians of ancient Aryan secrets, reincarnations of pagan warriors, and vessels of a new mystical world order. Wilsberg itself was redesigned to reflect this belief, its crypts, chambers, and architecture filled with esoteric symbols and ceremonial space. Members were said to undergo arcane initiations like blood oaths, midnight ceremonies, aligning themselves with solar worship, Germanic gods, and racial destiny. They believed in a hidden energy source, the Black Sun, a cosmic force older than the physical sun, said to radiate power from the center of the earth. This energy, they believed, could awaken latent superhuman traits in those of pure Aryan blood. Some claims go further, suggesting that the Black Sun Order sought immortality, time manipulation, and even contact with non-human intelligences. The Germanic Order. Before the swastika ever flew over Germany, there was the Germanic Order, a secret society that laid the ideological groundwork for Nazi occultism. Founded in 1912, the group's mission was clear: to revive the ancient spirit of the Germanic peoples through ritual, mysticism, and racial purity. The Germanic Order blended nationalism with esotericism. They weren't just interested in politics, they were obsessed with bloodlines, Aryan ancestry, runic symbols, and the mythic history of the Germanic tribes. Members swore secrecy, studied the occult, and performed initiation rites inspired by ancient chivalric orders and pagan traditions. Their beliefs were deeply anti-Semitic and xenophobic. They saw themselves as a spiritual aristocracy tasked with preserving the purity of the German Volk. To spread these ideas, they used coded symbols, Masonic-style rituals, and a vast network of cells across Germany and Austria. In 1918, a radical offshoot of the Germanic Order emerged, the Thule Society. It became far more politically active and eventually helped birth the Nazi Party. Many early Nazi figures were directly or indirectly influenced by the order's teachings. Though less known today, the Germanic Order functioned as the occult spine of early 20th century German nationalism, Armanen Order. Founded by Guido von List, an Austrian mystic and nationalist, the order aimed to revive the supposed secret knowledge of ancient Germanic priest-kings he called the Armanen. List claimed to have reawakened this knowledge during a period of blindness, receiving visions of a powerful 18-rune system, the Armanen runes. Unlike traditional Norse runes, these were completely invented yet framed as ancient hidden symbols of Aryan wisdom and magical power. The Armanen order functioned like a modern occult society, blending theosophy, pagan revivalism, and Volkish nationalism. Members believed in reincarnation, a hidden Aryan spiritual elite, and a cosmic struggle between the pure and the corrupt. They practiced rune magic, chanted sacred syllables, meditated on racial destiny, and believed their rituals could awaken ancestral memory. But it wasn't just spiritual. The order had a political undercurrent, promoting German nationalism, anti-Semitism, and the idea of a mystical Aryan bloodline. Many of these concepts were later absorbed by Nazi ideologues and SS occult programs. Though the original Armanen order faded, its runes and racial mysticism lived on, used by the Thule Society and even in SS regalia. The Black Sun, Death's Head rings, and runic insignia all trace back in part to this esoteric foundation. The SS. The SS, or Schutzstaffel, began as a small personal bodyguard unit for Adolf Hitler, but it quickly evolved into one of the most feared and powerful organizations in Nazi Germany. Under the leadership of Heinrich Himmler, the SS transformed from a political police force into a vast empire of terror, ideology, and war crimes. At its core, the SS was divided into two main branches. The Allgemeine SS handled internal security, racial policy, and intelligence operation. The Waffen-SS, meanwhile, became an elite military force fighting alongside the German army on nearly every front of World War II. But the SS wasn't just about uniforms and discipline, it was also the dark engine behind the Holocaust. Through its control of the Gestapo, the concentration camps, and the Einsatzgruppen death squads, the SS orchestrated the mass murder of millions of Jews, Roma, political dissidents, and others deemed unfit by Nazi ideology. Himmler viewed the SS as more than a military or police unit. He envisioned it as an ideological vanguard, a racially pure order of Aryan warrior priests. SS members had to prove their ancestry, undergo strict training, and swear absolute loyalty not to Germany but to Hitler himself. Their black uniforms, skull insignia, and rune-filled badges reflected their obsession with mysticism, death, and power. By the end of the war, the SS had become synonymous with brutality and fanaticism. After Germany's defeat, the SS was declared a criminal organization at the Nuremberg trials, Edda Society. The Edda Society was a niche but influential group in early 20th century Germany that played a key role in shaping Nazi mysticism and Germanic revivalist thought. Named after the Eddas, the foundational texts of Norse mythology, the society was obsessed with reviving the pure spiritual heritage of the ancient Germanic people. Founded by Rudolf John Gorsleben in the 1920s, the Edda Society was less of a political group and more of an esoteric circle, a runic brotherhood dedicated to uncovering lost wisdom through ancient Nordic texts, rune magic, and Aryan mythology. Gorsleben saw the Eddas not as myths, but as sacred scriptures revealing cosmic truths about race, destiny, and divine energy. Members of the Edda Society believed that runes were living forces, vibrational keys that could unlock spiritual power. They practiced runic chanting, meditations, and symbolic rituals based on the idea that the Germanic race had a divine origin and mission. The group published a journal titled Hagel, the Edda Society's yearbook, which spread their teachings on racial purity, runic cosmology, and Aryan esotericism. They also venerated the Black Sun, the World Tree, Yggdrasil, and gods like Wotan, Odin, as archetypes of racial strength and mystical wisdom. Though the Edda Society was small, but its influence was far-reaching.
Yep. And that was that. Just wanted to get the HHN special stories out the way. Shouts out to everybody coming through.
And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. I got another video coming. Check it out. I'll be back. Make sure y'all check out my new video. My new track that I did with Monkey Man. And the other hot videos on the fan page. But shout out to everybody.